Let's talk finances. How are you going to pay for nursing school once you get into school? Really, this channel is for nursing school, but it can apply to anyone. So, method number 1 is to apply for financial aid. You can get financial aid that will cover all of your costs or a portion of it. Try to get financial aid that will cover all of your costs, but that will depend on your financial situation currently and also your taxes that you filed a year ago. So you can get financial aid in the form of a grant. There's Pell Grant and other grants, or you can get financial aid in the form of a loan. Personally, I did go through financial aid and get a Pell Grant. They did offer me loans, but I wasn't having it. I didn't want a loan. I didn't want anything that you will have to pay back after you're done with schooling. And actually, I'm not even sure when you pay it back. You might have to make payments while you're in school. So if anybody knows about that loan program through financial aid, please let me know down in the comments if you have to pay it back after you're done with whatever career or degree you're trying to get, or if you have to make payments while you're still in the program. But as for Pell Grants, you do not have to pay it back. I had the full amount that could be offered to me through the Pell Grant. So it was a substantial amount. It probably covered about 90% of my costs, my enrollment costs, and then some. So I was able to pay for my books with the financial aid, and it was awesome. I highly recommend getting the grant, the Pell Grant. Number 2, you can also get scholarships. Your school that you are attending should have a list of scholarships that are available and the qualifications that you will need to meet in order to apply or to qualify for those particular scholarships. They can range from $1,500, $200 to even $5,000. You never know. Might be more than that, depending on what you apply for. Get in there and apply for any scholarship that you can apply for. If you're a woman, apply for scholarships pertaining to women. If you are of a particular race, apply for scholarships pertaining to a particular race. Apply for everything. If you're a man, apply for scholarships and races and whatever. There's sometimes scholarships that have to do with a particular career or medical field that you're going into or whatever field you're going into. So look for those scholarships and apply. Number 3, utilize your assets. If you are an older adult going back to school, consider taking out a loan against your investments. Consider taking out a loan against your 401k. Consider taking out refinancing your home and rolling it into your mortgage. What I'm particularly talking about is if you plan to quit your job to attend nursing school and concentrate on only nursing school for the next 2 years, you can figure out how much money you made in a year at the job that you are at before you quit and go to nursing school, and also figure out your expenses on an average year or a typical year, what you would have to pay for. Then you can take that amount, multiply it by 2, and figure out how much of a loan you would need to cover your costs while you are jobless and working on your degree. So you don't have to stress out about all of that. Now, the risks of doing this is, yes, you will have to pay yourself back, whether that means the mortgage, the new mortgage that you will be having because you have utilized your equity and refinanced, and now you have a new mortgage with a new amount, or whether that means you have taken out an amount against your 401k, you still need to pay yourself back. Or you can utilize stocks, anything of that nature. Any relatives, if they are willing to do that for you as well. Mine would not be willing to do that for me, but it is a consideration if you're desperate or if they know what you're trying to do. So consider those things. The other option is getting some roommates. If you're already established, you're in your own place, see if you have any friends in similar situations, or if you're brave enough to have roommates take up space and pay you rent for your mortgage or whatever situation you got going on. You could also do that as well. That will help decrease some of the costs that you have while you're going to nursing school, and most of the time the cost of where you live is the highest cost that you have. So that is another option. Trying to move in with someone else, such as parents, for a temporary amount of time. If you are accepting roommates for this amount of time, make sure that they understand that this would be a temporary situation until you get out of nursing school. Now, number 5, the next thing that you can possibly do to save or to figure out a way to go to nursing school financially is to make sure that you enroll in a community college. This will help decrease the amount of money that you need. Getting your ADN, associate's degree in nursing, costs less than getting your bachelor's. So if you go to a community college, your costs will be significantly lower than going straight into a university to obtain your bachelor's degree. The reason why I say this is because not only will your costs be less going to community college, you will be equipped with the same knowledge. You will be able to get out of there and become a working registered nurse or LVN, and you can always go back for your bachelor's degree or higher degree, but you will have the ability to pay for that degree out of pocket as you are a working nurse. But that is totally up to you. It's just a way to help you save moolah while you're going to nursing school. The other thing I wanted to discuss is before you take out any loans, please make sure that the interest rates on them make sense for you. You don't want to have to pay exorbitant costs in interest because you chose to take out that loan. As I understand it, interest rates are really high right now, so it might not make sense to refinance your home if you purchase the home at, let's say, a 2% interest rate. Interest rates are very high right now. What is it, like 6% right now? You wouldn't want to refinance to a 6%, and have to pay more over time for your house. If you want to do that, or if you're in dire straits, just please calculate the cost, have a plan in place. Maybe you want to go back to, or maybe you want to do, if you had a 30-year mortgage at 2%, maybe you would want a plan in place that after I graduate from nursing school and I take out this loan, this 30-year loan at 6%, I'm going to buckle down and make, you can make a plan to double your mortgage payment after you get out of school and become a registered nurse, double your mortgage payments, or to pay your house off quicker, or refinance to a 10-year mortgage, something like that, to pay your house off quicker. But actually stick to the plan and actually stick to the plan. When you get into nursing school, there are also going to be costs such as books or ATI costs or Kaplan costs. Kaplan is the program in which they utilize, some nursing programs utilize testing materials through the ATI platform. So every semester that you have in nursing school, you're going to be tested on certain things, and they do it through Kaplan, or some used to do it through ATI. I'm not sure if there's many schools that do it through ATI, but they also give you course materials and books and things of that nature. So to lower your cost on those books, you could see if you can partner up with another person to lower the cost, to somehow give you access to the same book. If I could do it all over again, I would actually do that, but you have to see how your particular nursing school is set up, if that's allowed, if you can manage that. Try to carpool with people to school if your school is a little ways away. My school is an hour away in another city. So I carpooled with another person that lived in the same city with me, and we were able to save a lot of money on costs. One week I would drive, the next week she would drive. So we did that. Another thing that I saw other cohorts do is give up their scrubs. The graduating cohort would be more than happy to sell their scrubs or give their scrubs to the starting cohort. But one thing to remember is that they encountered patients, different types of patients in those scrubs. So if you really need to save on costs, you don't need anything fancy as far as the scrubs. They'll tell you what color scrubs you need to have. They may try to upsell you on a jacket or, some type of backpack or some other stuff, but just concentrate on the main uniform. And if you really need to save dollars on that uniform, consider purchasing scrubs from the graduating cohort and do what you need to do to them to feel comfortable wearing them. So sanitize, wash them 10 times, do what you got to do. But yeah, get that yuckiness out of there. And that is another way to save money. Another thing that you could do is take a look at the books that you will be involved with. If it's an actual physical book, try to see if there is an ebook available because those tend to be rentable at some places. Um, those tend to be rentable at some places and they cost less because it's not a physical book. Find out if you are able to use the older edition of whatever book that you are utilizing for nursing. If the older edition is available and acceptable, purchase the older edition because the older editions of the textbook will be less than the current edition. And they only make minor tweaks to every textbook's new edition. So consider that as a possibility as well. So these are some ways that you can save on the cost of nursing school. Hopefully they have been helpful to you. Always be on the lookout for what another cohort is selling because there were cohorts selling their leftover NCLEX test questions. Some people bought test questions through an app. The name of it is escaping me right now. It's been a while. But they were practice test questions before they took the NCLEX. And some people would, give out their username and their password for leftover questions that they didn't even utilize because they already passed the NCLEX. So just be on the lookout for the graduating cohort selling items, which would possibly be valuable to the cohorts that are still pending to be graduating. So the first semester students, the second semester students, and the third semester students might find those resources valuable and financially savvy for them. And it might be financially doable for them because the cost of nursing school can get expensive, even if you're at a community college, but not as expensive as coming straight out with a bachelor's degree at a university. But yeah, these are my tips and tricks. These are my tips for you if you are wondering how you can even apply to nursing school and survive financially. These are some things that you can do. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please drop it down below and I'll be sure to answer. Have a good one. Bye.